Welcome back to another episode of Organizing Tune-Ups, where we are breaking down big organizing concepts into small, bite-sized chunks you can do every day for 5 to 15 minutes. I'm your host, Jessica Littman, and in this episode, we are going to talk all about how to master minimalism. So, minimalism. This is a topic sometimes I feel like it gets blown out of proportion what minimalism actually is. For the purpose of this podcast, I'm going to explain minimalism for this context because I feel like there are different definitions of minimalism. So for me, minimalism is about living with the stuff you actually use. I know sometimes it can appear minimalists have this aesthetic that you see on Instagram. Everything's white and beige, gray. They don't have curtains or pillows or rugs or any tchotchkes. They have a plate. That was the running joke. For me, I feel like minimalism is just being thoughtful about what you have. I like my stuff, but I don't like all the stuffs. So that means I like decorating for the holidays, but all the stuff for the holidays that I decorate with, I use everything. And then I have space to put the decor that's then off season. I have a spot to put it, and things aren't piling up in corners. Everything we have, we use. And if we don't use it, then we part ways with it. So for this conversation, we are going to be talking about how to kind of reframe the stuff we have in our house so that we can live with less. So the first step to mastering minimalism is to declutter what you don't use. This could be just doing a whole house removal of all the things. This could be slowly over time. Whatever it is, just take the time to remove what is not used, the stuff that is duplicated, the stuff that you really could live without, the stuff that might only be so this is mostly for kitchen, but the single use things you have a risotto maker that just makes risotto, but you make risotto maybe once a year. And you have a crock pot, and you have a rice maker, and you have an air fryer, and you have all of these gadgets. Maybe reduce the number of gadgets you have so that you have one gadget that does multiple functions. This could also go with all of those kind of smaller kitchen gadgets. Can you replace it with an item you currently already have instead of all of the other things? Which goes into the idea of minimalism and being thoughtful with your purchases as well. So removing the stuff that you no longer need, you can also reframe it, because if you're well, I don't know if I need it or not, then reframe it to the stuff that you actually use. And that's the only thing that goes back into the drawer. So again, this all depends on how you like to declutter. Because I have talked with people who prefer just to take things out of the drawer that they don't use but leave everything else in. Or I've also talked to people that prefer to take everything out and then only put back the stuff they use. So figure out which one works for you in terms of how to declutter, and then you can decide which way to remove the things that aren't fitting in with your minimalist lifestyle. Another big piece when you're talking about minimalism is to look at quality over quantity. Okay, so I have a funny story. We have family friends who, like us, value certain pieces of furniture as they're an investment, but we know we're going to have it for the long haul. Well, their friend doesn't think that way, and so our friends have purchased a couch that was a little bit of an investment. It's the same couch that or similar couch to what we have, but we know it lasts. Our couch we've had forever. They have purchased from this one company and it has lasted so long. And their friend has purchased multiple couches that have been cheaper that ended up equaling the same cost of the current couch, which just goes to show that sometimes quality is an investment, and knowing that you invest in the quality pieces so that you don't have to keep repurchasing the same item over and over because the quality isn't there. Now, the investment in that also doesn't totally count either, because just because something's expensive doesn't mean it's quality. But doing your research, finding out like what is the best product for what you need it for, and then investing in the one that has gotten the solid reviews, that has the longevity to last the situation, is how you're going to reframe your purchases. You aren't going to just do all of the fast fashion, the fast home decor. You're going to be thoughtful about the things you purchase so you don't have to repurchase them again. Or if you do, it's like much later in life. Also, you want to make sure that the flow of your home works for you. And by reducing the amount of stuff, like extra stuff, you will create a better flow within your house in order to create this minimalistic feel. So to me, like, minimalism is the feeling of like everything has a place, everything has a purpose, and everything has a smooth flow. So if you think of your like living room, does it have a smooth flow? When you look around, do you get overwhelmed by the visual clutter? Are there too many things to look at? Are the things up on the wall, do they make you feel calm, happy, excited? Like, what is the story that space is telling? And then from there, looking at like, what can we reduce in order to create this serene environment that we are going for? So this is another couch story. This is actually really funny. The couches, I guess, are like the big story of minimalism, apparently. So we have another friend who, they moved into their house. They had this big couch. It's an L-shaped couch, but their living room to kitchen is an open concept. And the way the couch kind of like fit, it either blocked the window or it was blocking like part of the TV. So they didn't like the flow that it was creating. And then behind the couch, they had a table that ended up collecting just clutter. And so what they ended up doing was moving the couch to the basement and then purchasing other furniture to fit into that space, and created a different flow for the space, which also led them to remove the table behind the couch, which was collecting clutter, and that clutter just disappeared. They don't know like where it went. I guess the kids, found a different spot to put it, but it wasn't intrusive or creating that like unnecessary feeling of just stuff in the space. So just reworking a space can totally change the feel of the room. So that is, to me, again, that's all about minimalism and just removing the stuff that doesn't work. If you like what you hear, make sure to like and subscribe to Organizing Tune-Ups podcast. Make sure you subscribe to Organizing Tune-Ups email list so you never miss an episode. I will see you in the next one.